This video is about the creation of a 9/11/01 memorial to America along New York Drive in Pasadena and LA County. This is an update on the progress that has been made during the past 9 years since 9/11. Our goal is to develop a comprehensive plan to develop New York Drive into a memorial drive and create a new park dedicated to 9/11 on a 5-acre parcel of land on the north side of New York Drive. This park would be dedicated to the victims of the attack on the World Trade Center in New York. My name is Captain John McDannel. I am a former Air Force pilot and retired United Airlines captain. United and American lost 4 airplanes, crew, and passengers that day. Plus 3,000 Americans and foreigners were killed by terrorists when they attacked and flew into that World Trade Center. I knew the captain who flew into that World Trade Center building and his plane I had flown some years before. This was used as a missile to attack the World Trade Center. Our son-in-law was working for Deutsche Bank at the time in one of those buildings. Fortunately, he escaped safely. Our daughter, a lieutenant commander in the Navy, Janine McDannel, was a U.S. Navy dentist and was called up by the 1st Division of the Marines, and who asked her to join them in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Needless to say, these facts motivated my wife, Mary, and I to act. It was an emotional time for all of us who are Americans. I went to the city of Pasadena in February of 2002 to get permission to plant 100 oak trees along New York Drive between Altadena and Sierra Madre to memorialize the 9/11 event. The city granted permission to plant these trees after numerous committee meetings and department head approvals. I weeded, planted, and hand-watered these oak trees for the past 9 years. The trees have grown and taken root. Some trees are over 10 feet tall now. We have lost some trees due to auto accidents, gophers, and poor soil conditions. But we don't tire. We replant and we water the new ones. The trees were supplied by the Altadena Rotary Club and LA County Forestry Division at Henniger Flats. The forestry personnel dropped the trees off at the LA County Fire Station 66, and then we pick them up and plant them. As the community grew more aware of this project, one of our neighbors in Arcadia, Troy Bond, contacted the Star News. The Star News thought it was noteworthy and interviewed me and published an article on September the 11th of 2006. They put this article right on the front page. They outlined my proposal to the city and county and Congressman Dreyer about creating this memorial to 9/11. As a result of this exposure, the city began to take action in the multiple areas to make certain improvements on this neglected street. The center median strip was recently demolished and nicely landscaped in preparation for this 10-year anniversary. During the past 9 years, we have advocated the placement of stop signs and crosswalks for public safety along this pathway. Here's an example of Eaton Canyon and Kenaloa Canyon Road. We also planted and watered and re-landscaped Eaton Canyon Drive with an additional 40 new oak trees. They're looking darn good right now. The City of Pasadena MASH unit has assisted us on numerous occasions with debris removal from time to time as a consequence of our efforts to weed all of New York Drive and dispose of those weeds for our planting efforts. The fire crews and captains at Station 66 have supported our efforts. They are LA County firemen, and we appreciate their every appearance. We were successful in advocating to Congressman Dreyer, our City Councilman Steve Hatterline, our City Engineer Dan Ricks, Mayor Bogard and Supervisor Antonivich's staff for the necessity of a new traffic light to be installed at New York and Eaton Canyon Drive. That signal has saved lives and helped facilitate traffic to serve the local residents, the local church, High Point Academy with its 450 students, Kinaloa Water District, city maintenance yard personnel, and police who frequently enter into this busy intersection. This is an example of the oak trees that were planted in 2003. Pretty impressive, isn't it? The photo represents the landscaping effort to the center median strip just completed by the City and County of Los Angeles, 2010. We are now proposing to the LA County personnel to locate 3 new soccer fields within the Eaton Canyon Equestrian District staging area. This area presently is underutilized and would easily accommodate additional soccer fields and parking for people using this facility. The condition of the pedestrian paths along New York are abysmal and need immediate attention. They are frequently used by workers who frequent the area, bus riders, bikers, joggers, school children who run cross-country, the Marines who use this area as a transit point for their exercises and maintenance of their physical conditioning, and it's inadequate. They're often found running in the streets because of the inadequacy of the width of the path and the poor fencing that frequents the south side of New York Drive. We have advocated that the city paint new bike lanes along this street. That has been accomplished. This traffic light at New York and Eaton Canyon Drive has been a godsend. It has saved lives. Up to this point, there have been 4 lives lost at this corner. I've personally seen 2 of the dead. There are new no stopping signs posted along New York Drive. You can clearly see that the walking paths and fences need immediate attention. The Eaton Canyon Flood Control Unit, located at the dam, has heavy equipment on site, and their equipment and manpower could be easily called upon to assist with this project. A second signal was installed at Bradley Street, assisting the industrial complex and traffic at that area. It has also saved lives and reduced accidents for those turning left into the industrial park. Adjacent to the Eaton flood control area is a very narrow walking path. The fence needs to be relocated about 5 feet, maybe 7 feet south. Then we can plant more trees along this area. Very little expense is involved here. Here is a man adjusting his baby carriage after having to walk in the street and then go up the curb where the path is a little wider. Oftentimes we'll see bus riders who have to walk to work in the street because of the lack of width of the walking path along this road. In addition to that, occasionally you'll see a wheelchair having to exit off of the walking path and use the roadway for transit. The LA County recently renovated the Eaton Canyon Golf Course signage, and they used a rock-encrusted memorial idea just as we are proposing for New York Drive. We are proposing that a second memorial entry be at Sierra Madre and Eaton Canyon Drive, as well as the first proposal at New York and Altadena Drive. Both of these monuments should be encrusted with stone, local stone, and a flag atop of the monument for designation as a memorial drive. Thousands of cars transmit these streets now, with visiting people who come to the recreation area, the businesses and residents serving this street. In summary, we are proposing to the city of Pasadena and LA County to create a memorial drive to 9/11, a new memorial park to the underutilized equestrian area, staging area, and finally, develop Eaton Canyon Dam into a waterfowl and recreation area for local fishermen and residents to enjoy. Thank you very much.